Well, hello and welcome back. Today I'm coming at you guys with a Costco haul. So, I am on week 3 of this prep. I'm at like 1750 calories about. I think it's just below 1800, but 200 grams of carbs, 40 grams of fat, and 160 grams of protein. My coach can see how motivated I am, especially after swim week, and so she's like, let's push. And it's a little bit of a daunting idea because I am 20 weeks out, but it's gonna be good. I have some things planned throughout this prep, like I'm visiting my family in a couple weeks, so I'm guessing she just wants me in good shape so that I can have a good refeed, and that would be awesome to be able to enjoy that with them. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on everything as life goes on. But today for Costco, we're prioritizing a lot of whole food sources because I have to make sure I feel full and satiated. So things like potatoes for carbs, bananas, fruits, lots of veggies. So hopefully if they have a good bag of green beans, I'll get that, or broccoli, or some kind of like spinach. And then beef, like maybe I'll get frozen beef, we'll see. I think I have a whole thing of it at home, so actually I might not. If I see oats, I'll get oats. And then maybe if the chicken looks good, I'll get some. I usually don't like Costco chicken though, so a little need for protein in there. I guess if they have eggs, I'll also get eggs, a little protein fat source, but should be good, so let's get on in there. Okay, so first thing in the basket today is actually a pair of pants because now I have to prepare for a whole new wardrobe with being a smaller size. Like my clothes are already fitting differently after like 2.5 weeks of this prep. So these I'm gonna try, we'll see if the small fit. I haven't had the best luck always with Costco clothes, but I mean, they're more like staples, so we'll see if this one works. I think it was like $10 for the pair of pants, so just something simple to walk around in, and kind of made me feel more Florida-y, especially since now I'm moving to Savannah, so I feel like I gotta maintain a little bit of Florida. But I'll show you the food items that I just got for produce. We're definitely small pickings now because we don't have the same flexibility with macros, especially since they're tighter with this cut. So I'll show you my green produce first, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so for green veggies, we've got 2 green beans and arugula. These are like low-calorie green veggies since, again, I don't have flexibility with macros right now. So green beans are a good one, especially for like, again, getting a little bit more volume. I think it's like a 10-calorie difference for green beans versus broccoli, but I'm just being mindful, and I want to switch things up because I've been eating a lot of broccoli. So munching on green beans this week, and then arugula. My Costco usually does not have the big things of arugula. Usually it's only spinach and like mixed greens, so it's cool being able to find that because I really love this with beef, especially if I like put beef back in the pan with some arugula after it's already been prepped. It really freshens it up. Sometimes I'll put like a little extra oil in there and it's pretty good, or mix it with avocado, and I really enjoy it. Now for fruit, I already have a lot at home because Publix had buy one get one of raspberries, so I still have a lot of raspberries to work through, but I also got a big thing of bananas per usual, just a good carb. I love throwing them in oats. It just makes me feel full, and it's one of my prep foods that I love, and off-season foods. It's just a great source. And then I'm trying cherries. I haven't had cherries in a long time, but I'm just like really craving them, looking at them for some reason. I haven't seen my Costco with fresh cherries like this, so I'm like, might be a little sweet treat. Give me something exciting to look forward to throughout the week. So I'll also have some of these. And then for the potato, I got sweet potatoes. I already have a bag of russet potatoes at home that I need to chop up and work through. So this will hold me off, so I have my carbs covered throughout the week. I'm also hoping to get more of those containers of jasmine rice, or like the sticky jasmine rice, because those are easy for on the go with traveling. So especially like while I'm going to visit my family, I'll stock up on those and take those with me. So hoping they have those in stock today. But again, this will be my predominant source for carbs this week. Okay, so I grabbed a bunch of stuff and I'm gonna break everything down that I got. So I got these already measured out servings of guac. I think this is gonna be really easy just for convenience, having it in my fridge and I can grab it, throw it with some chicken, bada bing, bada boom. I have a good balanced meal with a good carb source. I'll add something like rice probably with it, and it's probably gonna be scrum diddly yum. Definitely more on the pricey side for sure compared to like if I were to make the guac on my own. Like this was $14 for the whole thing. But for me, I'm already so limited on time and overwhelmed with time management. So this is something that's just gonna be easy to throw together because I already know I like guac. So just knowing I have that ready and available makes it easier to stay on track. The next thing is gonna be the protein sources I'm stocking up on. They actually had a bunch of the 93.7 ground turkey, and what I'm gonna do is make meatballs with it and come up with some creative recipes that I can share with my coaching clients, because the 93 is great for kind of that texture and consistency that you want want for a meatball. Like maybe you're used to a little higher fat percentage, but I think this will still maintain a lot of that flavor and moisture throughout the week. So I'm gonna come up with some recipes for that. So I'm getting 4 of the 1.5 pound containers for this. So I'm not expecting to get through all of these throughout the week. I definitely could not do ground turkey straight for a whole week. So I'll probably make one of these for the week and then freeze the other ones until I'm ready to use them. But this will definitely hold me over in terms of not needing to go to the grocery store right away and a little bit cost effective-ish. Again, 20 bucks for 3 pounds isn't necessarily the best price I could get, but it's also organic and I think the quality is going to be greater with these. So next thing here is going to be pre-seasoned chicken. If you are rough in terms of time management, throwing things together, and there's a big barrier of entry for like actually cooking meats, get pre-seasoned chicken or what have you. It makes it so easy throughout the week to just throw it in the oven, throw it in an air fryer. That's all it takes. You have already seasoned chicken. You can throw a good sauce with it, but in terms of availability, making sure you can stay on track, find a good seasoned one that you like. Publix has tons of them, and whatever grocery store, 100%. Even Walmart, if you go to Walmart, you can get pre-seasoned meats like this, and it has the calculated macros with the marinades. So in terms of staying on track, this is a really great one for time management and again, barrier of entry. If you're like thinking like, I gotta clean this chicken and do all these different steps, all you have to do is throw it on a pan. So next one here is gonna be 2 big containers of the non-fat Greek yogurt they have. So it's just plain Greek yogurt. It's okay on the macros. I love the 150 gram containers of the 000, and they used to carry that, but now they don't. So they only have the Chobani ones that have some added sugar in it. And it's like, when you're in a deficit or in prep, it is hard to have those in because it's already slim pickings in terms of the amount of food you're working with. In a deficit, you are supposed to feel hungry. So then when you introduce a bunch of added sugars that aren't necessary, like in a Greek yogurt, come on, it's just gonna have the potential to spike more cravings overall. So I'd rather do like plain non-fat Greek yogurt, add some protein to it. I've been really liking doing that with the Cinnabon protein or the peanut butter cereal milk protein from Ghost. It's just really yummy, and like mixing that all up, adding some chopped apple makes for a really delicious like evening treat that satisfies my cravings. So if you want a video of like what some of those things look like, let me know and I can put that together. Next one's gonna be a container of eggs. I already have one I'm working on at home, so just one more to make sure I have some ready when I finish those is gonna be perfect. I don't need to get 2 containers today, especially because again, my fats are low, so I can't really eat more than 2 eggs a day and then also have a bunch of other fat sources like from the meat, like the ground turkey and all that. So just 1 container today. Next one's gonna be a container of everything bagel seasoning. I love this with plain avocado. So even though I'm picking guac as my source for avocado this week, you know, typically if I had regular avocado, I would throw everything bagel seasoning with it, like especially on a rice cake is really yummy, or like with some jasmine rice, and then again, some of this on top with avocado, I just think is a really good treat. But just stocking up on this because I ran out of it last time, and then I'll show you my next thing. I'm also gonna stock up on some peas, just canned peas, so I have an easy veggie source for when I'm like in a rush or I need to like grab things and go, because you don't really have to do anything for that, and it's just an easy green veggie source, so you know you're getting it in. And I personally like peas, again with some rice and like some chicken and maybe a fat source. I don't really mind it, and it's gonna help me stay satiated throughout this deficit to have lots of veggies in my diet anyway. And then finally, before I go grab a bunch more stuff, I'm gonna get 2 things of the black coffee. It's like the stock cold brew coffee, just to keep in my fridge so that I have coffee easy to grab and go, because I don't really have time to go stop places. And then if I stop places, I'm like, oh, but I want to add almond milk and stuff, and so I can measure out my own almond milk. I have some sugar-free sweeteners that I really like, so just like I really enjoy it. And caffeine in the morning is like needed when I'm in this deficit or throughout the day, and I can just pour a little bit of that black coffee but not commit to a whole serving of it. Additionally, coffee tends to be a diuretic, so when you're talking about water retention and just like aiding and dropping some of that water, black coffee is actually effective for that. That's something that I manipulated when I was in peak week last year. So while I love energy drinks, I do have to limit the number I can have because it does create that extra water retention and bloating. Okay, so next item is a little bit more on the experimentative side, because I used to take beetroot powder a couple years ago, and it was the most vascular I've been, some of the most crazy pumps. I was also younger, so I don't know if that had a huge effect on it. And I was like to a T with everything. Like now I'm doing macros, but I really want to test out the effect of a little bit of beet in my diet and see if that really helps for overall recovery again and just like feeling good, because I really did feel good when I was regularly taking it. So these are like little packets of beets that I can easily incorporate in. And next is my motherfucking saving grace, because these are one of the easiest carb sources to grab and take on the go. It takes 90 seconds to microwave them. So if you're at work and you don't really have other options available and you want fresh rice, this is an easy one to incorporate in. And for me, with being low on prep with carbs, I can easily have one of these if I want, but more likely than not, what I have been doing is I'll split the container, have half of the serving at that time, and save the other half for another meal. Listen, I don't want to be dramatic, but this just made my entire day finding the big thing of oats. I have not found it for like 2 months, so knowing that they have these again in stock is the greatest blessing. Like, this will easily get me through most of my prep in terms of oats, because I really like oats as a carb source. It's very satiating for me, and in terms of blood sugar, I don't know, I really like how I feel overall from an energy level standpoint. The most ideal is not going to be like the old-fashioned oats. It's going to be something like, there are lower glycemic index related oats that you can get, like the sprouted grains ones. Anything that's more whole versus like quick cooking oats tends to be a little bit greater in terms of the effect on blood sugar. But again, I really enjoy these. I'm not having any issues so far. I have kind of been sensitive in the past from like a binging standpoint. There's a lot that comes around that. So again, another carb source, and I'm super hyped I found them today.
That was a really successful Costco trip. I'm so glad I found those oats. And an extra note on those oats. So what I was kind of talking about, I was getting overwhelmed in the store. It is steel cut oats that are the lowest glycemic index for oats. So if you find that you're feeling sensitive with that blood sugar spike and crash, so as I continue in prep, that's going to become more relevant down the line. But I'm already getting used to cutting out a lot of added sugars that I've been eating in processed foods, which aren't necessarily bad. They were just things I was enjoying in my off-season balance. And now, since I'm walking into prep and I have 20 weeks of this, I want to make sure I can keep my energy levels pretty consistent overall, and I'm not crashing really hard and feeling like crap for a minimum of a month. So that's just why I'm kind of picking the foods that I'm picking now. Again, it all depends on what phase of your journey in and what your goals are. Like, a lot of the things that I'm going to be doing over the next 20 weeks and like the intensity of my cut for me is not sustainable for the average person. It's not even sustainable for me long term. That's why you see I take time to just grow, enjoy life, sit at a higher body fat, sit with more water retention. Like, that's not my biggest fixation in the off season. But when I am prepping, that is when it's time to lock in, keep water retention low, so we can really watch proportions and show up as the best package we can when it comes to stage. That is for my goals. Your goals are probably going to be different. Nonetheless, like, a lot of these whole food sources are going to be great as the bulk of what you're eating. Just for overall health, performance, and body composition, it makes a really big difference. But yeah, so that chicken too, I'm already midway through putting it in my air fryer. So that's like 3 pounds of chicken. So that'll give me 12 servings of chicken, which probably is about 3 days worth. And then I have that ground turkey to prep next, and I'm gonna get some meatball recipes, share that with my coaching clients for them to try. But again, a really successful trip. My total came out to $189.23. So a little bit of a heftier Costco haul this week, but I got a lot of really great things, like a lot of protein. Like, I have 6 pounds of lean ground turkey sitting in there, that 93%. I got 2 big tubs of Greek yogurt. So it's putting me in a good position over the next couple weeks with everything. And especially on those carb sources, having those rice containers that are easy to just grab and go, especially thinking about traveling coming up. More potatoes, more fruit, more produce, everything you guys saw. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this Costco haul, please leave a comment and let me know below, as well as if you have any recommendations for Costco finds to try that might fit my goals. With that being said, again, thank you for watching. I will see you next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.